Stay with us.
The service chiefs, Chief of Defense Staff, General DJ Musa, ably represented here by the Air Vice Marshal S. Olatunde, who must greet you this morning. The Chief of Army Staff, Major General O.O. Oluyede, ably represented by Major General A.A. Abuaba, I must greet you this morning. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal H.B. Abubakar, presented by the Air Vice Marshal I.H. Etukudo, I must greet you specially this morning. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral E.I. Ogala, represented by Rear Admiral B. Iyala, I must greet you this morning. Please, technical, help me here. Thank you. The Acting Permanent Secretary of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Ibidapo Okunu, MNIPR MPOM, I must greet you this morning. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Defense, Ambassador Gabriel Tanimu Aduda, I must greet you this morning. The Permanent Secretary, Environment, Adam Kambari, I must greet you this morning. The Senior Special Assistants to the President here this morning, Federal Directors of all ministries in the building this morning, top military officers here present, Director Generals, Chief Executive Officers, Comptroller Generals, Managing Directors of parastatals, agencies, under all the ministries here present, senior government officials, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, the technical group has decided that my microphone is not going to work, but irrespective of that, we will try to weather the storm. We sincerely apologize for the break. It's not. Nothing is jamming anything. It's for the technical glitch. They're trying to work on it at the back. Permits me to
Hello. 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 Can you? Testing 1 2. I check testing 1 2. Testing, testing, testing. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to sincerely apologize for the breaking transmission.
This was due to some technical glitch that we are all aware of. Once again, it's just another day in the office. Please, a round of applause for our technical crew. Please, a round of applause for our technical crew. Thank you very much for sorting this out quickly. Apologies once again to our respected dignitaries for this glitch. Permits me at this time to lay background. I welcome you all to the 7th Ministerial Press Briefing Series holding here. You may wish to recall that this series kick-started with the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation just a little while ago at the conference room in February. And then so far we've had the Minister of Regional Development, the Ministers of Livestock Development, Industry, Trade and Investment, Aviation and Aerospace Development, Education, Foreign Affairs, Interior, and just the other 2 weeks ago we had Power. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are graced this morning with the presence of the distinguished Honorable Minister of Defense, Mohammed Budaru Abubakar, CON, MNI, as well as his counterpart, the Honorable Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal. Please, can we put a round of applause for this, our esteemed guest? Without wasting any much time, permit me at this time to yield the microphone to the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, as he lifts the curtain on today's proceedings. Please, a round of applause for him.
Thank you, my distinguished colleagues, honorable ministers. Let me begin by apologizing for that technical glitch. It's the first time we're experiencing this. It's unpardonable, and we assure you that we won't allow this to happen again. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Defense, Alhaji Muhammadu Badaru Abubakar, Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Environment, Alhaji Balarabe Abbas, Permanent Secretaries of Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Information, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Senior Special Assistants to the President, Director General of agencies under the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, other heads of agencies from both the Ministries of Defense and Ministry of Environment, my very distinguished colleagues, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me welcome you to the 7th edition of the 2025 Ministerial Press Briefing. Today's session, as you can see, features the Honorable Minister of Environment, Alhaji Balarabe Abbas, and the Honorable Minister of Defense, Alhaji Mohammed Badaru Abubakar. This forum presents a vital opportunity for both ministers to update Nigerians on key achievements, ongoing initiatives, and policy directions of their ministries. Through this interactive forum, which, of course, as you all know, is being broadcast live and is also being streamed across social media platforms, we continue to demonstrate our commitment to transparency, accountability, and public engagement. This indeed is what the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation seeks to do all the time. Since the commencement of the 2025 series in February this year, we have hosted a number of ministers from 8 different ministries. Each engagement has provided Nigerians at home and abroad with first-hand insights into the policies and programs of the Renewed Hope administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Let me reiterate that every minister will have the opportunity to address the public through this platform in the build-up to the 2025 Democracy Day celebrations. Today's briefing promises to be no exception. I am confident that Nigerians will hear of the laudable efforts of our armed forces in protecting lives and property, as well as in countering insurgency, terrorism, banditry, and other forms of criminality throughout our country. Similarly, we will be fully updated on the key milestones of the Ministry of Environment, especially our nation's ecosystem and other green initiatives being championed by the Honorable Minister. As many of you are aware, strengthening national security for peace and prosperity is the second pillar of the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This emphasis on security underscores the fundamental truth: no nation can achieve sustainable development without peace and security. The Tinubu administration has demonstrated this resolve not merely through words, but through concrete actions, including the acquisition of advanced platforms and armaments, enhanced intelligence gathering, intensive training, and retraining of personnel and strategic global partnerships. The media, as gatekeepers and partners in nation building, have a crucial role to play in supporting our military's morale by highlighting their successes and sacrifices. Our armed forces are not only respected by global allies, but also feared by those who threaten our collective peace. It is equally important to recognize that the fight against insecurity is not limited to kinetic approaches, meaning the fight, of course, in the front lines. It is also a battle for the hearts and minds of our people, one that terrorist groups are actively exploiting through propaganda, especially on social media platforms. I therefore call on my colleagues, or media professionals and editors, to be discerning in their reportage. We must deny these groups the undue publicity they crave. We must take them off the front pages and accurately report them as the criminals that they are, without glorifying their acts or giving credence to their false narratives. These, of course, are not freedom fighters. They are murderers, kidnappers, and destroyers, and they must be presented as such. Let us remember that responsible and patriotic journalism is essential to building a peaceful and prosperous Nigeria, one that holds promise, not just for our nation, but for the stability and the development of the entire West African sub-region, and indeed the African continent at large. I sincerely commend the media for your unwavering commitment to these ministerial press briefings. Your efforts in informing the Nigerian public about government programs and policies are indeed invaluable. As a cornerstone of our democracy, your work continues to foster an informed, engaged, and resilient citizenry. On this note, it is my honor and privilege, distinguished guests, members of the media, to begin this ministerial press briefing by inviting the Honorable Minister of Environment to come and take the stage. Now, let me say that the Honorable Minister will have a maximum of 25 minutes to present his scorecard. Thereafter, the Honorable Minister of Defense will come, and then, as is our tradition, you will have the opportunity to interrogate and make comments on what you have heard. Thank you very much. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, our host for this occasion. I feel quite delighted and honored to be here to present the scorecard of the Ministry of Environment, which I believe is very important for us, because I always say that environment is the gateway rather is going to clean for treatment. So the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, the Honorable Minister of Defense, Your Excellency Mohammed Badr Wakar, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, and representative of the service chiefs that are here, then the Acting Permanent Secretary, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Ebidefo Okono, and the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Defense, Ambassador Gabriel Tenima Aduda, and the Permanent Secretary, my own Permanent Secretary, Muhammad Kambari. Then other senior assistant to the President, federal directors that are present here, head of agencies, senior military officers that are here, director of hospitals, and other senior government officials that are here, and members of the press, because we are here because of you. So members of the press and other distinguished guests that are here. What I have here for you is the analysis of what we have done since the inception of the administration of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. That is from May 2023 to date. And I want to start by trying to elaborate on the mandate of the Ministry of Environment. The first and the most important mandate is secure quality environment, conducive good health and well-being of our students, fauna and flora. We are also responsible for promoting sustainable use of natural resources, our forests and other resources that are abound in the country. Promoting research and development on issues that affect government, and also restoring and maintaining the ecosystem, ecological processes, and biodiversity conservation. We are also responsible for raising public awareness, which I think this is what we are here for today, in promoting understanding our environment, because we believe that what is required in our ministry is to get the people to understand that by keeping their environment clean, they are preventing diseases. And we always say that prevention is better than cure. So we are also directly cooperating and collaborating with other ministries, departments and agencies, the private sector, NGOs, and the international organization on all environmental issues that we take care of. And our vision. Our vision is what we see, what we are seeing right there. And our vision is a nation in harmony with its environment. And our mission is to ensure environmental protection and natural resources conservation. And, the ministry is structured into about 4 sectors. The first one is the departments. We have departments that are responsible for policy making, but in the Ministry of Environment, you find that a number of departments are also responsible for technical issues. So we have departments as policy-making organs, as well as policy implementation organs in the ministry. And we also have agencies. These agencies are created essentially to facilitate the work of the ministry. That's in terms of trying to implement the policies that have been enacted. So they are specialized in nature, so they perform functions that are related to the issue of environment. And the other one are programs of the ministry. These programs are not permanent. The first 2 are permanent. They are there all the time, protected by law. While these 2 other structures, the programs and the project, they all have lifespan. The accuracy, for example, which is one of the projects that we have, it has a lifespan. It started somewhere and it's going to end somewhere. The programs also have lifespan. So the ministry is structured into 4. We have the departments, the agencies, the projects, and the programs. And as we go along, you are going to see the interrelation between these different organs. For example, we have the Department of Forestry, Department of Desertification, Land Degradation, and Drought Management. We have Department of Erosion, Flood, and Coastal Management, and Pollution Control, Environmental Health, and also Environmental Assessment, the EIA, that is responsible for trying to determine whether a project can go on or we can stop them on the basis of environmental implications. So that's the EIA. Then we have agencies that include NASREA, National Environmental Standard and Regulations. We have National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency. We have Forestry Institute located in Ibadan, and National Biosafety Management Agency, and the National Agency for the Great Green Wall, and National Park Service, which I think are also uniformed. So we brought some uniform people also along with us, just like the Ministry of Health did. Then we have Environmental Health Council of Nigeria. And the projects include the HYPREF, Hydro Pollution Remediation Project, the Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, that is AgriSel, and the new MAP, which is the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management. And the program are only 3: national adaptation, reducing that rate, reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, and the green bond, which we are hoping to launch it anytime from now. So the presentation in terms of achievement is sectoralized in these sectors. So the first one will address
the issue related to forests. The forest has about 3, 4, 5 different agencies attached to it. Like, for example, the Great Green Wall is particularly responsible for trying to build a fence between Nigeria and the encroachment of the desert. So it is linked up with the Department of Forestry. Also, AgriCell has bearing also with the Department of Forestry, FRAIN, which is in Ibadan, have relation with the Department of Forestry. And also we have the other one that has direct relation with the forestry is the one that has to do with biosafety, which is also directly related to. So in trying to address the achievement that has been done under this sector, that is forestry and afforestation, we all know that Nigeria is facing a critical situation as far as our forest is concerned, because Nigeria is regarded as one of the countries that has the least forest cover in the world, because our forest cover is far below the minimum, which is 25%. Our own is far below 10%. So under this administration, we have gone ahead to see how far we can regrow this forest, how far can we move into addressing the issue in our forest. So the first thing that we did is try to plant trees, encourage people and youth and women to plant trees. That's why you found that the Great Green Wall has 2 components. It has the youth component, it has the women component. And in the process, more than 4 million trees in collaboration with Great Green Wall have been planted across the northern part of this country. These 4 million trees are scattered around the Great Green Wall area and as well as other areas that are bedeviled by this issue of afforestation. So we are planting trees and trying to plant trees through various means. So as our target is to plant not less than 1 billion trees within the next 1 year or 2 years. Because if Ethiopia can do that, if Ethiopia can plant over 1 billion trees according to our records in 1 year, I think Nigeria can do better. So our target is to plant at least 1 billion trees within the next 1 year. And in so doing, we are having collaboration with the military. For example, the NDA, I think last year, we are involved in trying to support their own attempt to plant trees, which I think we are there, and we saw what they are doing, and we assist them in trying to give them seedlings for that, and Ibadan is trying to do that. So 4 billion trees, and our target is to get to 5 billion. So for the meantime, within the AgriCell and Forest Department, we have been able to plant 4 million trees within the last 6 months. And we also have a massive afforestation program that is taking place in Kevi, in Nasarawa, and in Kogi State. And this, we are targeting to plant more than 10 to 20 million trees around that area, because we believe that that area is very conducive for tree planting because of their climatic nature. So we are looking at that as an attempt to see that we can regrow our trees there. And also the link to that, because the biggest problem with trees is the fact that people use these trees for cooking. So in order to avoid felling the trees for cooking, there are so many programs we are bringing within the afforestation efforts to see that we give people alternative to trees. And the best alternative we have to trees is bamboo. Bamboo is a grass, but it grows to be a tree. Whatever a tree can do, bamboo can do it. So since we came in, we found that we have been doing that, trying to do a pilot in Kogi State by trying to plant bamboo and trying to create a bamboo factory that will process the bamboo plant that we're trying to do that. So, and with the success of that, we have already finished feasibility studies to do the same thing in Ogun State, in Cross Rivers, Kaduna State, Edo, Benue, Ekiti, and Taraba State. These are states that bamboo can grow very well. And I'm sure you know that one of the players, Nigerian players, is using a bamboo boat to play with. So it can do almost everything with bamboo. Everything with bamboo, it can do it, and it can replace forward-looking efforts. So with that, we are trying to address the issue of forest, trying to see that we prevent the felling of trees and doing that. And I have approached Mr. President on this issue. He's very concerned about that, and we're trying to come up with some sort of strategies to prevent the felling of trees and also to prevent exploitation of particularly endangered trees from Nigeria. Then we have also seen that one of the big issues in relation to the issue of forest is the fact that a number of people fell trees to cultivate for farms. So there is this, because farming, agriculture is one of the biggest area of afforestation. So in trying to do that, there's no way we can stop agriculture. The best we can do is to encourage what we refer to agroforestry, trying to combine agriculture and forestry in what we do. So there is this agroforestry effort that we are doing, working with the Ministry of Agriculture to see that instead of felling trees, you can find ways and means of combining trees as well as crops in your farm. So that felling trees you can farm and at the same time maintain the trees in that farm, and we are doing that. And also under this department, we've been able to sign an agreement with Cameroon, that was on the 19th of April 2020, in trying to, one, prevent the afforestation of our forests, and at the same time to prevent cross-border banditry, that's between Cameroon and Nigeria. That agreement was there for over 10 years. It was being pushed from one table to another, but by the time we came in, we had to push it very quickly, and that agreement has been signed between Nigeria and Cameroon, and it's going to particularly protect the Cross Rivers National Park, as well as the Korofo National Park in Cameroon. And while we were doing that, we found that one of the ministers of environment, Sudan, came to us, and came during the signing of the agreement to show appreciation for what we have done under this administration. Because the report has been there, we've been pushing it, but it's only on that date, 19th April, that it was actually signed and commissioned, and we have started cooperating with them in trying to prevent cross-border and try to prevent forest deforestation. And also, what we find out is that environmental issues are not given the kind of attention they require in the legal system of Nigeria. Environmental crimes are not seen as serious as other crimes in our society. So when I came in, I found that there are so many cases. We had the case of the killing of 2 adult elephants in Borno State, which we have been pursuing up to this moment. These elephants are endangered. They're the only surviving West African species that are alive. So we have tried to see what we can do about it, but because the laws are not there, so we are collaborating with the Ministry of Justice to see how we can sharpen our legal system to address environmental crimes and make them as severe as other crimes. So under the Great Green Wall, we found that so many things are happening there. But the most important one that I'm going to speak out is that they are involved in doing a lot of things that has to do with trying to combine afforestation and also trying to improve the economy of Nigeria. And like I said, the Great Green Wall involved about 11 states. And the states Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara. These are the states that border the Sahara Desert. So what they're trying to do is try to see that they plant trees around that area to do that. So in the process, we found that the Great Green Wall has raised they have raised 3,850,000 neem trees. I'm sure you know neem trees. Neem trees are not only protective of the environment, they are also medicinal. They use them for medicine. And I'm sure if we go to Ibadan, you find that neem tree is one of the key plants they use in trying to provide medicine for so many elements. So 3,850,000 of these neem seedlings are being established, and they're going to establish they're going to spread this to 11 nurseries that they're trying to do under the Great Green Wall. And also, within that sector, there's also the establishment of 175 kilometers of shelter belt. That is in Borno, Kebbi, Zamfara, Kano, Sokoto, Katsina, and Jigawa. This shelter belt is supposed to provide avenues for, one, try and protect the vegetation of that area, and secondly, trying to also fence the country from the encroachment of the desert. And there are things that they have done, including vocational training and all that. But the most important thing that they have done, and they're doing now, is raising 5 million seedlings of Phoenix decateria. That is the date. I'm sure most of you know date, which they call in Hausa Debino. So they are bringing out 5 million of these seedlings. They are going to plant them across the 11 states. And this Debino is a very, very expensive fruit that many people use. We import a lot of this Debino from the North Africa, from Saudi Arabia, from other Middle Eastern countries. But we believe that with this effort by the Great Green Wall, this thing will be available and it will actually help in trying to improve the economy of our country. And also, there are areas. So in trying also to assist the communities that are confronted with this issue of deforestation, they have provided about 5,252 mini solar systems in various communities. You find that if you are trying to plant trees, and you are trying to plant trees in areas that people use trees for cooking, at the same time you find that these are areas that are bedeviled by banditry. Most of banditry is along the northern borders of the country. So when you plant these trees, you must find ways and means of nurturing them. So in so doing, they are doing a lot in trying to enhance community interaction, community support, and livelihood support in those areas. They are all outlined. We'll give out this one as we go. Then the FRIN. FRIN is the research institute that has to do with forestry. They are located in Ibadan, and they have been doing very well in trying to raise new seedlings and also trying to bring down the gestation of seedlings. You find that there are seedlings like, for example, cocoa, for example, I think many of them that take a long time, take a lifetime before they can become useful. So one of the things that they're doing, and they're doing effectively in about 3 different fruits, is that they need to cut down this number of years and all that. So let me move very quickly, because I've been told that. So the national park, which is also linked to the forest, they are doing quite a lot in trying to flush out bandits in the forest, and also in working with the military in trying to do that. So we had in those days about 7 national parks, but now we've been able to bring more national parks because they serve as the basis for our protection and all that. Then the issue of deforestation, we have restored a number of forests. About 80 hectares of the greater landscape have been restored, and we are doing more in trying to bring them back to rotation. And as part of that, we have signed an agreement to join the Middle East Green Initiative, which offers opportunities for environmental conservation and renewable energy. And under AgriSal, one of the biggest things we are doing is that we are restoring 178 hectares of greater land across northern states. And also, we also have a community revolving fund, which is disbursed to the local communities for them to, first of all, get into agriculture, because AgriSal is where we have collaboration between Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Water Resources, and Agriculture. So about 12 billion naira has been distributed to communities in those states. I think about 17 communities plus FCT have already taken their share of that. So about 8 billion is done to, one, improve agriculture, and secondly, improve environmental accreditation. And also, many people have benefited from that. 1,003,000 individuals have directly benefited from that. Then under erosion and flood and erosion, we found that we have been doing quite a lot in that area, because last year we have faced a lot of erosion matters. The one that we saw in Borno State, particularly in Maiduguri, and all that. So we've been trying to address all the dams. Part of what the government has done is to establish a committee to review the status of all the dams in Nigeria, in trying to see that we don't have the same kind of catastrophe like the one we had in Maiduguri. And so we have had over 130 major projects have been done in trying to address flood issues in Nigeria. Then coming to pollution control and environmental health, which I think is very important. One thing that people tend not to see is that pollution is one of the biggest issues that is confronting humanity as a whole. We've been talking about climate change. Climate change has become a hype. It has become a sort of something that people hype every day. But the most critical factor is chemical pollution. Even climate change is being what do you call it? Is being intensified by chemical pollution. So this is an area that we need to do, because in everything we do, we find that there's chemical pollution. So in doing that, there are so many things that we're trying to do to address the issue of chemical pollution and other pollution. And one of the things that we've been trying to do is that there are agencies that are doing that, and one of them is the HYPREF. HYPREF is a project that came out of the research and analysis of UNEP in trying to address the spill of oil in Ogoniland and Niger Delta as a whole. So they've started with HYPREF, about 4 local governments, and before we came in, the project was having a lot of teething issues. So by the time we came in, we found that we had to move very quickly and address some of these issues. And some of the issues that we've been able to address is that the issue of mangrove restoration, which I think is there. We went to there, and we had to go to and do that. So with that, we are doing one of the biggest, 10 biggest mangrove restoration in the whole world, because we are looking at replanting about 4 million mangrove trees in 4 local governments. And already 2 million have already been planted, and they are thriving. You can see them there. So HYPREF is doing that. And one of the biggest issues that normally is the biggest victim of pollution is water. Water is the biggest issue of pollution. And we found that under HYPREF, when I came in, there was only 1 water treatment plant. But as I'm talking to you now, I have gone to River State and commissioned 9 water treatment plants. 9 of them have been commissioned, and we are doing more because they need water. Because the first line of pollution is water. So they need water, so we have done that. Then we have also been able to do a lot in the area of clinics, because they have health issues that are being confronted with, and also they have issues to do with power, and all that we're trying to do. Then on the issue of pollution also, we'll be able to secure the Federal Executive Council approval for the implementation of the ban on single-use plastics. You can see on top of this table, there are no plastics. So the policy is still there, and we are trying to run it through the ministries and other agencies of the federal government, because this plastic is the biggest menace in our communities and in our societies. So we must address it. And part of addressing it is to start with ourselves, the government. So when we start with the government, we are going to extend it. We have been collaborating with state government during our environmental week and others, so we are doing that. So we have also unveiled circular economy, which is also very important. It's attached to cleaning the environment, and as well as making young people, women, and other people to have a business around it. Just about 2 weeks ago, we were able to commission a factory that is buying off all these pure water bags, plastic, and all that, to turn them into either reuse them or recycle them or do other things. And we are doing that with the support of Japan, and I think it's going on very, very well. And we have $2.9 million that came from the Japan government, and also they have done the bending machine, which also carry about 3.6 million. So there's so many areas of remediation that has been done by HYPREF, which I think I cannot go through because of the time limit that the Honorable Minister gave me. Then I will go to the NOSRA, which is responsible for detecting oil spill and also trying to address it and forcing agencies responsible for that to do that. When we came in, we found out that there is an oil spill which has to do with gas, which has been burning for 4 years before we came. 4 years that fire has been burning, destroying the ecosystem, destroying the livelihood of the people around that area. Then it is when we came, we moved in there, trying to address it with support of NOSRA, and that I think we have been able to address it very well. So the other area that I need to address, which I think is very important, is the area of environmental impact assessment, which is under the Ministry of Environment. For all projects that is going on in this country, they must undergo environmental analysis. They must undergo an assessment that will confirm that that project will not affect the societies and communities around that area and will not be harmful to the ecosystem of that area. And that department has been doing very well in all areas, and I want to commend the ministers of this administration. Before, most government ministries don't go for EIA. They just assume that it will just be done. But now, no government ministry or department will undertake any project without going through EIA. Then the other one is the National Standard and Regulation Agency, which I think has come out with so many policies in trying to address our environmental issues. Because I always call them the policeman of the environment. That's NESRIA. They are responsible for trying to make sure that we do things the right way. And they have been doing that. So they're in fact responsible for trying to operationalize the circular economy and all that. In fact, at one time, we are contemplating on closing those outfits around JB Lake because of the way in which they sieve sewage water into the rivers. We have been able to do that. And on climate and mitigation adaptation, the ministry has secured an approval from the FEC to start working on national clean cooking policy. It is a very important policy because the kind of cooking we do now, particularly in the rural areas, it is hazardous to our health and other things. Not only that, it's also depleting our forests. That's why we went to the Federal Executive Council on the 24th of April 2024, and the council approved the clean cooking policy. And since then, we have done quite a lot in trying to buy these cooking stoves, and we have sent them to the state government so that they can do more in that area. And when I was told that by a doctor that if a woman, our mothers, go into the kitchen and produce one meal, it's like she smoked 4 packets of cigarettes. It's like she smoked 4 packets of cigarettes. So you can see the danger that we're exposing our women to. And I think this policy is supposed to address that, not only address that, but also address the issue of afforestation and all that. So we are doing that strongly. Then the other thing that I think is under climate change is this issue of carbon market activation plan, which was launched by Mr. President at COP28 in Dubai 2023. And we are on that. We are almost on that. We are almost coming out with the carbon budget and all that. And in our conference in Barbados of 2025, the actual framework and policy document was launched at that international forum, and we believe that a lot of support will come a long way in that. Right. So Nigeria has also signed agreement with the Chinese government on renewable energy and green Nigeria in terms of trying to address this issue. And the project has started, which the pilot project is starting in Lekki Peninsula in Lagos. The Chinese are funding it, and once that succeeds, there are 5 ones that will take up in other zones. Already, the Chinese have released some money to it, 1 billion as the preparation effort, and we are there. So this will be the basis for green industrialization of Nigeria. We are doing quite a lot in that area. We believe the Chinese are doing that. Let me just talk about the pipeline project briefly because I'm being hustled out here. The sovereign green bond, which I think Nigeria is the first to do it, in Africa, and most likely the third to do it in the world. We are now going to the third one. We have done two before, so the third one and the fourth one are coming up this year. We are hoping to launch the third one this month, May, and the third one is coming in October 2025. And that will give us some leeway in trying to address green projects. So the bond will only be servicing green projects, only green projects across the country. There's WACA, which is the West African coastal area, which I think is still in infancy. We'll deal with that later. Then we are also, because of the problem we are facing in the forestry, we are looking at trying to encourage private forests, that people should come in and plant trees and within a land, and because just like we have farms, let us have private forests. This forest can serve two things. First of all, it can be a carbon credit reservoir. At the same time, they can use it for even tourism. Because when you go to South Africa, most of the places we go to, Kruger and all that, they are privately owned. So we can do that in Nigeria. We can have a forest that people can bring animals and for people to go and see. So we are doing that. We are going to do that as quickly as possible. Then, in conclusion, I'm sure you're happy. Environmental issues require everybody to be on it. All hands must be in deck to address our climatic issues, particularly the press. So when I told the minister that I was coming to see him and address the press, he said, look, this is an opportunity for you to do the same. So the press, we want to appeal to you because environment requires your support. Your support is very important for us because if you can educate people, if you can mobilize people to clean their houses, to take clean water, try to prepare their water and all that, it will go a long way in reducing the large amount of elements that we have. Most of the elements have cholera, typhoid, and they are all environmentally the same. Even common cold, even the COVID we went through was an environmental issue. Thank you. So even the COVID issue was an environmental issue. So we must try to get across to our people, educate them on how to take care of the environment. I always say that environment is key to health. And this environment we have, the earth we have, is the only one we have. There is no alternative to our Mother Earth. You know, since I was young, I'm a little age now, since I'm young, we have been trying to look for alternatives. People have gone to the moon, they are going to Mars, they are going to all these planets. What are they doing? Looking for alternatives. Up to now, there is no alternative. So we must keep this earth clean and make it a better place for us and for our future generations. So in conclusion, I want to express my profound gratitude to His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of Nigeria, for his unwavering commitment to environmental sustainability and his steadfast support for programs, initiatives of the Federal Ministry of Environment. The President's visionary leadership and hindered access granted to me. I've seen the President many times. So when people are saying that you can't see the President, I just look the other way around. I see him, I've seen him several times. Whenever I have an environmental issue, when I found out that this fire has been burning for 4 years, the President, I was there, he saw me, and he gave approval for what to do. So I've been getting access, free access to the President because of his commitment to our environment. So I want to sincerely appreciate Mr. President for this. And I want to urge the press and all those that are there to support the environment. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the Honourable Minister.
I believe we can make the applause a bit louder for the Honorable Minister of Environment. Thank you very much. You may be seated. It's very hard to stop a man who is very passionate about what the job he does. Please, a round of applause once again for the Honorable Minister of Environment. Thank you. Without further ado, permit me at this time to invite for his own presentation For 25 minutes, the Honorable Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, CON, MNI.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, it is my pleasure to address you on the achievements of my ministry, of the Ministry of Defense under my watch. Over the past 2 years, our ministry has made significant strides in enhancing national security, modernizing our defense capabilities, and promoting regional and international cooperation. Today, we will highlight some of the key accomplishments and milestones that demonstrate our commitment to safeguarding our nation and its people. As Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria's stability is pivotal for West Africa and the continent at large. Globally, the proliferation of transnational threats such as terrorism, cybercrime, and organized crime has necessitated enhanced international cooperation. Nigeria's security challenges remain deeply connected to global and regional developments across Africa. We have seen the rise in transnational terrorism, cyber threats, and armed insurgencies fueled by weak borders, poverty, and climate-related displacement. The Sahel region in particular has become a hotspot for jihadist activities, with groups exploiting local grievances and state weaknesses. The instability in the Sahel has direct implications for Nigeria, especially in its northern region. The Sahel, stretching across Africa south of Sahara, faces escalating violence from armed Islamic groups. The formation of Alliance of Sahel states by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger following their exit from ECOWAS signifies a shift in regional security dynamics. However, analysts express concerns that those moves might further destabilize the region. Nigeria has had to respond strategically, balancing regional diplomacy with reinforced border security. Notably, we have maintained Nigeria's commitment to multilateral platforms, while recalibrating our regional defense posture to address new alliances such as the Alliance of Sahel. At this juncture, I am pleased to share with you an expert view on the cascading effect of international security scenario, particularly on national security, because we cannot take Nigeria in isolation. We have to look at the global scenario on insecurity and the regional scenario and how it affects Nigeria. And you can see from the experts that the security
what's really happening right now. At the moment, the Sahel is the global hotbed for conflict and other forms of security challenges globally. This is backed by different data sets. For example, the Global Terrorism Index in its most recent report indicated that the Sahel region has recorded the most terrorism incidents and fatalities globally. In addition, the Beacon Security and Intelligence Database, which is the company I head, also indicates the same thing. Likewise, ACLET data also indicates the same thing. So sadly, the dimensions of conflict and security challenges in the Sahel are increasing. And, like I said, globally, there is no other region that suffers that. And one of the major reasons for that is the development and governance challenges in the Sahel region, especially after the coup in three countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger Republic. These three countries have been facing increasing governance challenges and several dynamics, including weak government institutions, porous borders, and the emergence of non-state armed groups, especially ideological ones that are affiliated to the two big terrorism franchises globally, that is the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda, has created this challenge that we have in the Sahel.
So far, what you mentioned, what impact does it have on this stagnation?
So because Nigeria shares a border with most of the Sahelian countries, in fact, a part of Nigeria, especially the northern part, is adjudged within the Sahel. Just to give an example, the borderline between Nigeria and Niger Republic is about 1,600 square kilometers and covering about 7 states within Nigeria. Now, the problem with that is that because of the security challenges within the Sahel, we've increasingly seen how the influx of both equipment, membership, and several other aspects of the conflict dynamics, how that is impacting within Nigeria. Secondly, a country like Niger has, from a strategic point of view, changed its security strategy from regional cooperation. It's now more interested in internal security. So we've seen a redeployment of security personnel from regional areas back into the center to strengthen security, internal security. And so that has led to gaps that is being exploited. We are also seeing a reduction in the sharing and cooperation of security intelligence between Niger and the other AES countries with their neighbors. So that is also being exploited. Thirdly is the geopolitics. Niger and the other AES states ended their cooperation, defense and security cooperation with countries like France, the US, and have moved towards Russia and some other global players. Unfortunately, these other global players have not filled the vacuum that has been created by this shift. And so this again is also supporting and helping the non-state armed groups, including the ideological ones. Of course, the isolation of the countries after the coup has increased the socio-economic dynamics in those countries. We've also seen an increasing attack on the oil pipeline, which is really the lifeline of the country like Niger. So all of this is contributing to that challenge, and of course it's impacting it.
Would it be right to say it's not as if Nigerian military or armed forces are not trying these challenges from the whole of Sahel is what's really affecting their offense?
So definitely, and I think the premise or the assumption that counter-terrorism is a military issue is wrong in the first place. In a country like Nigeria, where we've seen the military doing,
I think we have gotten the reason why I played this video. It was an interview done by I think Radio France RFI, and the reason is to look at the context in which I am going to address you today. The global terrorism and insecurity has been in the rise, more especially in the Sahel that is around us. So don't look Nigeria as or in isolation. Look at the global trend and the sub-Saharan and our neighbors, and then you will judge us fairly. That is one. Two, I want you all to cast your memory back to 2 years ago. Those of you that travel between Abuja and Kaduna, Birnin Gwari, Kaduna, Abuja, Lokoja, and what is then and now, then you will appreciate our own situation and what we have done. The Lake Chad Basin encompasses part of the Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, remains a focal point of insecurity. Despite efforts by the multinational joint task force, Boko Haram and its splinter groups, the Islamic State of West Africa province, ISWAP, continue to pose significant threats. Over the past 2 years, however, our intensified operation in the Northeast, particularly through collaboration with the multinational Joint Task Force, have significantly weakened Boko Haram and ISWAP stronghold. Several high-value targets have been neutralized and dozens are captured, and all territories captured have been reclaimed. In collaboration with our international partners, we have also enhanced intelligence sharing and deployed advanced surveillance technology in the Lake Chad region, improving our cross-border response capabilities. Internally, Nigeria grapples with multiple security challenges. In the northeast, the Boko Haram and ISWAP have continued to carry out isolated, desperate attacks, including the use of armed drones. The northwest also faces banditry and kidnapping, while the north central region experiences ethnic-related and Palmer-Harder conflicts, exacerbated by climate change and resource competition. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, elected in 2023 with the promises to enhance security, has been making determined efforts to fulfill this promise. However, contemporary security challenges in the country are neither isolated nor simplistic, like I've said. They are deeply rooted in decades-long socio-political fractures, economic dislocation, porous transnational borders, foreign insurgents' influence, and global terrorism metrics that continue to mutate beyond classical military doctrines. Accordingly, addressing those challenges requires a multifaceted approach, combining military efforts with socio-economic development, regional cooperation, and robust governance to ensure lasting peace and stability. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's famed directive, "Enough is enough," signals reinforcement of political will, which also spurs us to double our effort in conjunction with all stakeholders towards overcoming the security challenges in this nation. Thus, under the leadership and direction of the President, the Ministry of Defense has coordinated joint efforts through intelligence sharing, coordinated various kinetic and non-kinetic efforts to defeat insurgency. In pursuance of the administrative deliverable, the ministry has achieved many feats which show a leap in the right direction. Nonetheless, history shows that defeating asymmetric threats requires not just bullets and bombs, but winning hearts and minds, stabilizing local economies, de-radicalizing in ideologies, and rebuilding governance structure, all of which can best be achieved through whole of nation or whole of society approach. Accordingly, this brief seeks to present the achievements of our ministry towards attaining its ascribed deliverables under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This brings me to my aim, that's to briefly highlight the gains of the Ministry of Defense in the last 2 years. To achieve my aim, I shall discuss first the ministerial deliverables for Ministry of Defense, which centers around securing the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Honorable Minister of Defense, the Honorable Ministers of Defense are answerable for the following deliverables. That one, improve, expand, and empower Special Operation Forces Battalion. Develop a policy framework for reducing dependency on imported foreign equipments. Review policy framework on welfare for frontline security personnel. And the rest can be seen on the slide. The Ministry of Defense, with the support and direction of Mr. President, has continued to defend lives and property towards ensuring national security and protecting the territorial integrity of our dear country. The key achievements include enhance synergy with the armed forces and with other security agencies. Defense equipment procurement, improvement in defense production, and capacity development of troops. Others are troops welfare, increase in partnership with foreign nations and organizations, and sustaining stakeholders' engagement sessions. Let me now consider enhanced synergy. The Ministry of Defense has prioritized collaboration among services and with all stakeholders to ensure a unified approach to national security in Nigeria. The ministry has also been championing initiatives and efforts to ensure the armed forces operate jointly and efficiently with all relevant stakeholders towards achieving operational objectives. As a key part of this is the establishment of joint doctrine and warfare center by the Armed Forces of Nigeria. This underpins synergy across all services by promoting joint doctrines and concepts which guide the conduct of operations. This enhanced synergy has led to successes attained by our gallant troops in conjunction with other agencies. Remarkably, the period under review has seen the killing and capture of numerous terrorists and bandits kingpin, the rescue of several hostages, and the recovery of large catch of arms and ammunition. Troop has also restored peace to hundreds of communities, and thousands of our people have returned to their ancestral homes. For instance, from May 2023 to February 2025, our troops have neutralized 13,543 terrorists and criminals. Arrested 17,469 and rescued 9,821 hostages. Meanwhile, 124,408 Boko Haram/ISWAP terrorist combatant fighters and their families surrendered. The summary of our operational success induced by the renewed synergy includes the recovery of 11,118 weapons and 252,596 assorted ammunitions. As attested by the President during Nigeria's 64th independence broadcast, he said over 300 Boko Harams and bandits commanders have been eliminated. This number is even more. Some of these notorious key extremist terrorist leaders eliminated that you all know include Damina Handingiwa, which is a well-known terrorist, Kachala Halilu Sububu, that commands more than 1,000 terrorists, Ali Kawaje Madada, Yellow Nagoshi Madada, Maikusa Katsina, Kachala Dogo Gudale, Sani Dangote, Haruna Isiabodori that has been terrorized in Kaduna State, Buhari Nyadi, and many others as shown in the slide. Actually, the military are neutralizing these bandits by day, and the leaders are going down by day, and they are on the run. Recently, there has been a renewed impetus to all our operations across the country, translating into commendable achievements, specifically in the Northeast. Despite the recent short-lived desperation of the terrorists, troops have responded decisively and dealt a devastating blow across the theater, killing Boko Haram kingpins in the process. This year, the troops have stormed the Timbuktu Triangle in the Northeast, clearing terrorist camps in Buk, Jameri, Abulam, Digimari, and their training camps at Barin Baban Alasan. In the process, 18 terrorists were killed, including 3 high-profile terrorists, namely Talha, that's the woman leader, Malam Umar, the RPG trainer, and Abu Yazid, the ISWAP brigade commander in the Triangle. Since May 2023, security along major routes such as Maiduguri Gambaru, Maiduguri Baga, Bama Banki, Bama Fulka Kirwa, Maiduguri Goza, Yola, and many more has improved, allowing socio-economic activities to thrive. Those of you that are in the area will not dare pass through these roads 2-3 years ago. But now, the security has improved significantly. Besides communities in Borno State like Mteke, Bita, Nguru, Soya, Gajibo, and Kukawa, alongside many others, have returned to their ancestral homes. This shows the slow but steady return of peace through our kinetic and non-kinetic efforts. Our non-kinetic efforts include Operation Safe Corridor in the Northeast, which is sustained by the ministry. This program that has received commendations and visit by foreign non-kinetic think tank has been very, very effective. In the Northwest and North Central, more steam was added to our operational posture with the deployment of high-tech combat enablers and the operationalization of Operation Pasayama. Also, the mandate of Operation Wild Stroke has been expanded to include part of Taraba in addition to Nasarawa and Benue. These efforts were also made to isolate the IFOP by denying them the leeway to align with the Amazonian rebels in Cameroon. Recently, combined efforts of security forces have resulted in the neutralization of 6 separatists. In the South-South region, troops under Operation Delta Safe have discovered and destroyed about 3,849 dug-out pits that is used for the storage of stolen crude oil before processing. They have destroyed also 1,871 boats and 4,543 storage tanks. Other items recovered and destroyed include 3,773 cooking ovens, 135 pumping machines, and 1,978 illegal refinery sites. Moreover, large quantities of stolen crude oil, illegal refined AGO and DPK and PMS were confiscated. The Navy has also arrested some vessels for various offenses. Some of the vessels include MK Kali and many others. Moreover, high percentage of terminal factors recorded along the Trans-Saharan, the Trans-Niger, Trans-Carabos, and Trans-Facados pipeline by as much as 95% have been sustained in the third and fourth quarter of 2024, as well as the first quarter of 2025. This has improved oil production from an average of 1,250,000 barrels per day in January 2023 to an average of about 1.6 million barrels per day at the present time, and sometimes it goes up to 1.8 million barrels. This is as a result of the destruction of so many illegal refineries and protection of the pipelines done by our troops. While the Navy's operational response within the period under review also led to the capture of foreign parboiled rice, cannabis sativa, and other psychopathic substances smuggled or attempted to be smuggled in wooden boats, worth millions of naira. It is also worth noting that our efforts have led to the Nigerian exit from the list of piracy-prone countries by the International Maritime Bureau Piracy Report of 3rd March 2002. To further enhance the synergy, the ministry is actively collaborating with the ministries of Blue Economy, Agriculture, Petroleum, communication power, solid minerals to enhance security around national parks, forest reserve, inland waterways, as well as mining, oil exploration and supply side, and other critical national assets in conjunction with our security agencies. This has greatly boosted economic activities and enhanced livelihood of our people. Well, time is up, but there are a lot to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not beating this success drum alone, as various leaders and general public have testified to the great success achieved by the administration in terms of security. Accordingly, permit me to show you just a few for emphasis in this video clip. So those are the testimonies. I'm not drawing my trumpet. People are talking on our behalf.
Of criminalities
brought down by the terrorists. Despite the challenges, they've transformed this community into a hub of agricultural productivity. Every day, more than 200 trucks loaded with grains now leave Gwari, feeding millions of people across Nigeria and beyond.
President Bola Tinubu is not ignorant of the challenges facing the region, and upon assumption of office, the first thing President Tinubu did was to put the right persons in the banditry, destruction of farmlands, and loss of life.
All manner of criminalities
brought down by the terrorists.
For under 1 year, Mr. President.
For its support.
It has made significant progress.
Despite the challenges, they've transformed this community into a hub of agricultural productivity. Every day, more than 200 trucks loaded with grains now leave Gwari, feeding millions of people across Nigeria and beyond.
President Bola Tinubu is not ignorant of the challenges facing the region, and upon assumption of office, the first thing President Tinubu did was to put the right persons in the right positions in his cabinet before purchasing fighting equipment for the military. That move is still yielding the desired results in the ongoing fight against insecurity. And to set the record straight, the senator representing Taraba South is acknowledging the improvements in the security architecture of his area as a result of the effort of the Minister of Defense.
But to a large extent, you see that the crises have really come down due to the fact that the president, who is a highly experienced person, has not given up.
The issue of security, I want to assure you by the grace of God, we are nipping it at the bud. I can guarantee Taraba is safe.
A lot has been said about what is ongoing in Borno State. But inshallah, we are optimistic that the security situation will be okay very soon. We have to be resilient enough and ensure that the successes that are so far been recorded will not be diminished, inshallah. On my own part, as the governor of Borno State, I want to assure you that I provide the necessary political ingredients and commitment needed to collaborate and support the Nigerian military with a view to aiding the insurgents. I also want to use this opportunity to commend the federal government of Nigeria, commend the Ministry of Defense and service chiefs for all the supports that they have been rendering to the government and people of state.
Tsaro ai wanda duk ya duba ya gani ya san an samu ci gaba. Musamman misali irin Sokoto da Zamfara da kuma Katsina an samu ci gaba bisa ga inda aka fito. Mu kanmu a Kebbi da yake muna makwataka da waɗannan mutanen inda aka fito muna da matsala musamman a gehen Kebbi South. Amma yanzu bakin gurgudu matsalar ta ragu inda aka fito ko noma ba a zo. Amma yanzu da muka zo mun yi tsaye mun kawo tsaro mun taimaka ma jami'an tsaro da vigilante domin su yi ayyukansu yadda ya kamata. ina baka tabbacin shekaran jiya just a wuce sati ɗaya ba na je thank you visit a Kebbi South na dawo da buhu 950 na nau'in abinci daban-daban na dawo da shanu guda 16 su wannan ba karamin abu bane kaga mutane an taimake su sun koma mun je kuma zagaye mu gode musu bisa ga abubuwan da suka yi lokacin zaɓe kuma suka ce a to su ma tun da an kawo musu tsaro kuma su yi noma sun samu abinci wani ba za ka koma ba sai mun baka aka tara min buhu 900 kyauta na nau'in abinci daban-daban shanu 16 bale nau'in irin su tumatir irin da dai sauran kayan marmari so kaga an samu ci gaba in ba haka ba mutane ai ba za su iya tara wannan.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are pressing me for time. This video is for 18 minutes. Testimonies from different people, both leaders, society, state governors that have said security have improved in their states, and also also the communities that we have visited that have attested to the fact that security has improved in their states or in their region or in their towns or in their villages. Time will not permit, but I'm sure you all have this report. In summary, judge us well. Look at 2023 to date, before and during our time. What happened? What successes are recorded? Also, look at the situation happening around us. Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Cameroon, Benin recently. The escalating violence that is happening there, and what we have in Nigeria today. So I want to use this opportunity to thank the armed forces of Nigeria and the security operatives for doing us well. Stand up for recognition, please. Service chiefs. You have made us proud. You have done wonderfully well. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will not close without once again, and please sit down. I will not close without once again expressing our immense gratitude to the President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his support and guidance. Sir, we are indeed grateful. To my audience, all of you, carry with you my message of hope, and that security is everyone's business. It's your business, it's my business. We must support our security forces and isolate criminals, no matter our affiliation. Imbibing all of society approach security will ensure a safer Nigeria and will enable us to reap maximally our goodies enshrined in the renewed hope agenda. Join hands with the armed forces, join hands with security agencies, and end this thing. And the time is now.
I believe we can make the applause a bit louder for the Honorable Minister of Defense. Thank you very much. In that same vein, come on, can we put our hands together for the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think the appropriate thing to do is for all of us to stand while the members of the armed forces sit down, so that all of us clap for them in recognition of what they are doing for our country. Please, just stand.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Still progressing in this press conference. For the want of time, we'll restrict the questions to 2 per ministry. That is 2 questions related to the Ministry of Defense and 2 questions related to the Ministry of Environment. And please move straight to the question so as to save whatever time we have left. Please, when we identify you, you state your name, the ministry your question is directed, and straight to the question. 1, 2, 3. And please, a lady, 4. Thank you. 1 over here. Please identify the ministry your question is targeted to us. Thank you.
Okay, my question is for the Defense Ministry or Defense Minister. My name is Adelani Adepegba. I write for The Punch. So yesterday, the House, during their upon resumption, said that they raised alarm, the House of Reps, and they complained that the insurgents are better equipped than the military. So I would like the minister to address that assertion. Secondly, the Senate, during their own plenaries, proposed a summit. So my question is it another talk show we need or a change of strategy? I'd like the minister to address that as well.
Thank you.
Then I have an observation for the information minister. Okay, you didn't get the question I said?
The last one.
Yes, the Senate is proposing a summit. So in your own view, is it a summit we need or a change of strategy to defeat insecurity in the country? Then I have an observation for the Minister of Information. In the past, we normally have sign language experts here so that we can carry along those who do not, the deaf and the dumb. But I've not seen anybody doing that.
All right.
This session started.
All right, thank you very much. Number 2, yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Leon Sigbe of the Nigerian Tribune. Given what my question is to the Minister of Defense. From what you have said, I think the efforts of the military should be well commended. But here's the thing, sir. Many Nigerians are concerned over reports that terrorists now have access to armed drones, right? So the question is, how do they have access to these armed drones? What are the challenges our security forces face in identifying the brains behind this and their sponsors? May we know at this forum why exactly terrorists should be having access to armed drones and our military do not seem to have equal access? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The gentleman of brown. I want to presume your question is for environment.
Good afternoon, honorable ministers, dear participants here. My question is going to be directed at the Minister of Defense. I know, my name is Idowu Isamotu. I am the defense correspondent for Daily Trust newspapers. So that is why I want to direct my question to the honorable minister. Number one, I was part of the delegation who visited Ajaokuta some time ago, and we were told a lot of things, how the collaboration between the Ajaokuta Steel and Daikon will work together in order to ensure that our military hardwares are produced locally. Having said that, Nigerians will want to know the status of that particular arrangement regarding the collaboration between Daikon and Ajaokuta Steel in relation to our locally produced military hardware. That is number one. Number two, sir. Under this administration, a lot has been achieved, and the federal government should be commended for that. For instance, I was actually at the Katsina State myself. I moved to Batsari local government, where that place has been liberated. I can confirm to Nigerians that Batsari local government has been liberated by the military forces. However, sir, I wanted to to take my journey further to Safana local government in the same Katsina state, but I couldn't do that. But that particular local government has been, as I'm talking to you, is still being held down by the terrorists. So I want to appeal, and I want to appeal to the minister to probably to assure Nigerians again what will be done in order to ensure that that particular area is liberated. Also, they say Batari local government is liberated. Number 3, sir. Lakurawa, a new terrorist group, and Mahmouda, 2 of them. If I'm not mistaken now, we have 5 terrorist groups we are actually facing now in the country. Why do we always wait for these people to strike before we go after them? No question again, but observation, sir. The Ministry of Defense, one of the critical ministries in this country, is doing so much. But honestly, if you are not allowed or you don't have opportunity to blow your trumpet, it will not go very far. In the Ministry of Defense, some of us who had covered the Ministry of Defense for some time now, we don't have access to information. In fact, if my editor in the Daily Trust called me and said, "You will get us information in the Ministry of Defense," it is always hard for me to get the Ministry of Information and the Ministry of Defense. Why? Because I can't say specifically, this is somebody I would like to reach out to in the Ministry of Defense. For instance, on Monday, May 5, a statement was sent by some of our colleagues. That statement was signed by one Jefferson, something like that. The following day, a statement was also sent, and it was signed by one princess, whatever. We found out that these are ghost names. So when we are sending statements from the Ministry of Defense, a critical ministry for that matter, the statement should be credible. The information that will be given to Nigeria will also be credible. And information that is cannot be credible if it is well and appropriately attributed. So we want the Minister of Defense to look into that and ensure that we get timely information as far as Ministry of Defense, which is a critical ministry in this country, is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And the last, the young lady behind him. The lady behind him on white.
Good afternoon. My name is Irene Okechukwu, and I report for Rapid Broadcasting Network. And my question is, what's the ministry doing the Minister of Defense, sorry, we are here for the briefing, so we are allowed to speak. So in addressing the internal security threats, that's what we are facing right now. So what's the ministry doing on the internal security threats and terrorism, banditry, and secession? Reason I'm asking this question is, our border is porous, and most of these terrorists that come into our country are foreigners. So what is the Ministry of Defense doing in conjunction with the Ministry of Interior so that we can help reduce the intruders who are the foreigners who join hands with the locals to, cause problem or mayhem in our country? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Allow me announce. The Honorable Minister has graciously approved that if anybody here has a question for the Minister of Environment, to please signify by raising their hand. And I've looked at this side for the long part of today, so let me look at this side. And the lady on the red jacket and the red glasses, please. Your question to the Minister of Environment. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Ruth Olurumbi. I write for Bloomberg. And during the course of your presentation, you said that the green bond will be issued soon, this month and October. So I wanted to know how much is the country looking at raising, and in what currency? Is it euro, dollars, or what currency? Then I want to confirm if this will make the 4th seeing that you said that it is May and October, the October one, does it make it the fourth green bond that Nigeria is issuing? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, I will yield the floor to the Honorable Minister of Defense to please respond to his barrage of questions.
Thank you very much. It's a very interesting ministry that affects the lives of everybody. So I appreciate the questions. The gentleman from Punch asked that yesterday the House of Assembly said, National Assembly, House of Representatives said that the terrorists have better weapons than us. That is absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. We have much more sophisticated equipments, and we have much more sophisticated drones. The issue is this war is not conventional war. It's like a guerrilla war. They watch us, they have informants around us, around the people that we try to protect, and they give them information, and they jump to us what we don't expect. And when they know that our surveillance mechanism is watching some direction, because we cannot cover the whole area. So that is it, but they don't have more equipment than us. We have much more. We have more sophisticated equipment, and that is why the successes that I just mentioned. On the summit, yes, strategy is far more important than summit. But summit will give you some inputs for the strategy. When you hold a summit, you hear people, they talk, we take what they said, and we go back to design or renew our strategy, and then the Chief of Defense Staff give operational order based on the strategy developed. So what the National Assembly is trying to do maybe is to bring people together to discuss the issue of security. You hear a lot. I visited most of the past defense ministers. I visited most of the past service chiefs to discuss issues on security during their time and what we see today and how we improve. And I'm sure the service chiefs also do the same. So the summit can help, but the strategy is much more important. The gentleman from Tribune said that the terrorists have armed drones. How? From where do they have armed drones? What we saw up till today are normal small drones, civilian drones. They just tie bomb to it, improvise bomb, and just drop. It's not sophisticated drone. It's not armed drone that has strategic guidance. It's just fabrication. That is what we saw so far. And we are beefing up our intelligence, and that is why we have arrested so many armed traffickers. And that is why we are monitoring also with the National Security Advisor the use of civilian drones now. Because if you see the videos, I think it's not here, I could have shown you the type of drones they use to attack. It's just small, normal drones that you media use, but with heavy capacity that they will put 1 kg or 2 kg of bomb that explode, and that is what they have now. But we are doubling our intelligence, both internationally and nationally, and all with our partners, global partners, to make sure we track the source and we nip it. Daily Trust, the Ajakuta and Daikon, yes, we are on it. We are working to see if we can resuscitate a section in Ajakuta that will help us in our quest to make Daikon more productive. But you see again, the President and Commander-in-Chief have signed the Daikon bill, which I believe you are all conversant with. As of today, 53 companies have an MOU with us. Most of them are at different stages of construction in their factories. I think about 10 of them have started production, including some light drones, MRAPs, PCs, and many other equipments, helmets, safety vests, and others. So 10 have started producing. And we target by the end of the year, we will have about 20 producing. By next year, God's willing, with your prayers, we'll start to export. And also, I know your head office is in Kaduna. If you visit us there, you will see that the ammunition factory is functioning, and we are producing a lot of arms for our use today. You made a mention of your visit to Batsari and the situation in Safana. We are unaware of it. I didn't tell you it is all over. I said we have achieved success, and you attest to it by saying that Batsari is now okay. So slow but sure, we will deal with this and put it in the end, and nip it on the boat. And Safana will be freed. If you recall, it's not only Batsari, you can't dare leave Gusau through to Jibia. Now that road is open and bubbling. Jibia and the areas around Jibia was really difficult to go, was attacked every day. And now that is freed and the Jibia market is bubbling. And Katsina Jibia is also free. So we are moving, and we'll get Savannah and the other communities that are facing difficulties also liberated. If you recall also, Zaria, Funtua, Gusau is an everyday issue of kidnapping, everyday issue of killing people. Now that has stopped for over 6 to 8 months. So we will continue to do, and with your prayers, I'm sure we will end this thing, and the commitment of our troops and the support of our president. The Lakurawa and Mahmuda, yes. You see, these people infiltrate slowly. If you are a defense correspondent, you know that they don't go in bulk. They dress like you, move like you, without arms and ammunition. They go. First, they start to preach normally. They start to work with people, support people, and before you know it, they build. But we have understood the trend now. So we are watching and we are blocking. More could have happened. More could have happened, but for the support, for the help, and the dedication of our armed men. If you know what is happening in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso today, even in Chad, even 3 days ago, the whole, I think, this thing, camp just across the border in Cameroon was attacked by these people, and a lot of weapons taken, including an MRAP. So the situation around us is really escalating much more than you think. And we are blocking and also reducing the impact in our country. So that is why I say we must commend these people. Because if you look at Nigeria in isolation, you won't get the gist. It is Google, find out how many military barracks and personnel were killed in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso in the last 2 weeks alone. and in Chadi. You will now understand what I'm talking about. You will see that Nigeria, we are doing wonderfully well, and we will continue to guard our borders, and we will continue to be sure that the infiltration of these people has stopped or minimized now that we are understanding their trend and how they operate. On the access to information from us, I mandated the DHQ to give bi-weekly report on our activities and the activities of the armed forces. And I think they have been doing that religiously, right? Yes, sir. Yes, and most of you attends to that briefing. So we expect them to brief on their operations and what the armed forces are doing. And there are no fake correspondence or no fake, what do you call them, information officers. The PS here will check what happened and he will streamline it. And I'm sure Henshaw is here. Yes, Henshaw is here, and Henshaw is the Director of Information and is in charge of whatever information we give. So Henshaw, this is a challenge to you, and you have to get it right, and I'll follow it up myself personally. Thank you. The lady mentioned, asked us, what are we doing about the porous borders? Well, right, we are doing a lot. We are doing very well. With my explanation on what the security agencies are doing to reduce the impact of insecurity around our neighboring countries and the escalation into Nigeria, that means we are doing something in the borders. And there are a lot of other things that we do. Unfortunately, there are not things that I will share. But trust us, from what you hear, and from the global context, the regional context, and what happened, to what you know 2-3 years ago, and also from what people are saying on the improvement of security today, you will agree with us, we are doing our best, and we will continue to do our best, and we will continue to develop strategies, change tactics as they change. I thank you most sincerely, and appreciate being invited to answer these questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister of Environment will respond to his question.
All right. Thank you very much. The question that was raised was on green bond. Like I said in my presentation, Nigeria is the first in Africa and one of the first 10 in the world in launching green bond. And the first one was 10.7 billion, and the second was 15 billion, making it 25.7 billion. That's between 2017 and 2019. But our own that will be done in the next 2 weeks is 50 billion, and this one will be directed mainly at afforestation, water security, and e-mobility in mass transportation, and also in trying to address the issue of clean energy. And the fourth one, which is about going to be 250 billion, will be on clean energy for public institutions and other areas that are willing to accept it. So what we have done differently from what was done before is that in our own 2 green bonds, we are very much sure that these are areas that can easily be picked. Because in the first one and second one, particularly the second one, we had issues with the trying to complete, because some of one of the people who picked the bond, Katsina Trade Mill, which is under the Ministry of Power, could not fulfill it, and that caused problem for us. That's why we've been struggling to make those that are responsible to understand that we can do it, because it's not only Ministry of Environment. We have the EU involved, we have the World Bank involved, and we have the Ministry of Finance involved and the Debt Management Office. So this time around, I want to assure you that this 50 billion that will be run this month and the 250 billion that will come in October will definitely be exhausted. So we are bent on doing that and will continue to do that. And before I came out, I signed a letter to the Minister of National Planning, Budget and National Planning, on trying to key into the dollar content. He's very much interested. There are so many countries that are interested in our green bond. In fact, precursor to COP29, when I was in Rome when I was invited for a conference under FAO, one of the issues that struck them was the fact that Nigeria has been able to successfully run 2 green bonds, and they are going for the 3rd one. And in fact, based on what I told them, they were able to put it as part of the items for discussion in COP29, which I think has become very clear. So green bond is a source of finance for green project that has no emission, project that will encourage green development, project that will increase sustainability in trying to address the issue of climate. So you can see the progression from 10, 15, 50, and now 250. And I believe that by next year, based on our collaboration with the Ministry of Budget and Planning, we are going to go the dollar content, because we have 3 institutions that are interested in backing Nigeria to pick the dollar aspect of it. I want to thank you very much, and I'm sure this is the last time I'm going to say something. I want to thank the Minister of Information so much for giving us this opportunity. This is an opportunity that we can't pay for. So I want to thank him very much for this opportunity. And we'll be all about twists. Maybe we'll want to be invited more and more so that we can tell the people what we are doing in our ministry. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Ministers, Minister of Defense, His Excellency Abubakar Badaru, Minister of Environment, Alhaji Balarabe Abbas, the Permanent Secretary, Senior Special Advisor, or Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, and heads of agencies, especially the ones from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, our gallant armed forces. Thank you for the work you do for our country. All the heads of agencies and other officials from both the Ministries of Defense and Ministry of Environment, and to all of you, members of the media, thank you for keeping a date with us all the time and for staying through this. And we are sorry for the first 15 minutes of the technical hitches. We have taken note of that. We won't allow that to happen again. And all the platforms, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Nigerian Television Authority, Voice of Nigeria, all streaming this live. The Channels Television, thank you. AIT, thank you. Arise, thank you very much. TVC, thank you. News Central, all of you who, even though we have paid, but we are grateful that you came, because you will have chosen not to come. Thank you for the work you do. We will continue to invite you, and I want to assure you that we will continue to make this platform available. This is the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to inform Nigerians, to let Nigerians get engaged, let them know about government policies and programs. Please, to you, my colleagues, please let us report responsibly, patriotically, and honestly in the interest of our country. Thank you for coming. Next week, we will have another set of ministers for you to address you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And with that, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this press briefing. May we please rise as we take the first stanza of our national anthem. At the much and have a good afternoon.